All right, joined by Brent Metcalf, a former two-time national champion here at Iowa, current member of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, and a member of USA Wrestling's freestyle team. Brent, a couple weeks ago you left for Azerbaijan, and the wrestling landscape was as you had always known it. And then a few days later, by the time you landed, things had changed dramatically. Can you tell us a little bit about where you were and what the reaction was when the IOC decision came out?
We had a 9-hour layover in Frankfurt, Germany. So we had a hotel room. There was 15 of us, and we were jam-packed in 2 hotel rooms. And I think that's right when the news broke. It was on their news and everything. And I remember hearing some of the guys talk about it, and I guess my first instinct was I thought it was kind of a joke. You know, like I thought they were joking about this or that. And then after about 30 minutes of them still talking about it, you know, I woke up or whatever, I was sleeping, I think, something like that, and went and watched the news for myself. And that's when it kind of set in that, like, wow, this is really a decision that was made. So, you know, from there, obviously, we spent a lot of time talking about it, you know, how it impacts us or how it impacts the future of the sport and things like that. But it is definitely a huge surprise.
Now, you're there to compete in the World Cup, and you've been to many international competitions. How did the news change the atmosphere of the entire event?
I think that there was just more of a camaraderie a little bit. You know, you're at an event, you're competing against each other, so you're kind of at each other's throats, I guess. You know, and there is some friendship in between countries, but I think there's a lot more now. You know, there's a lot more communication between all countries. You know, like because they can all sympathize with each other. You know, we all lost something that's dear to us. You know, which is the opportunity to wrestle in the Olympic Games. So it was competition as usual, I think, on the mat, but off the mat, I saw a lot more communication between coaches and even athletes and you can't really communicate with them because of the language barrier, but I guess you can just relate to them, you know, relate to how they feel with how you feel.
Now, you're familiar with wrestling hotbeds. Iran is a wrestling hotbed. Did you notice their perspective on the international effort to preserve wrestling? Did you notice anything unusual or anything stand out to you?
You know, I don't know. I think that a lot of our coaching staff maybe got into the nuts and bolts of what they're trying to do on their end specifically. I know that they feel really confident about being able to, you know, get it reinstated just because of maybe their horsepower and what they have. You know, you talk about Russia and Iran and the influences that they have. You know, internationally, I think it might be more than what the United States does, as far as it goes for wrestling. So I think that they're very confident about it. I mean, I don't know, like I said, I didn't have any one-on-one conversations with them, but how I felt was that they were upset about it and they were, you know, determined to get it corrected.
Now, you personally, you know, all the training and all the dedication, and you know, last year Iowa City hosted the Olympic trials. You fell in the finals at the Olympic trials. So all the training, all the dedication, all the pain that you suffer, I mean, why do it? Why is it all worth it?
It's worth it because it's a dream, it's a goal, it's a lifelong dream and goal. You know, you're talking about training, you talk about putting yourself in that situation, and when you're in pain or when you're wondering why you're doing something, you know, I started wrestling when I was 8 years old, and I've been dreaming about it since I was 8 years old. You have that many years to look back in your memory of your life and dig out something of why you're driven and why, you know, you want to achieve that Olympic gold medal. So I think that there's a lot of motivation there, and I think that, you know, just having Olympics being the pinnacle of our sport, it's a unique thing since we don't have any other major you know, wrestling doesn't go anywhere, I guess you could say. You know, there isn't NFL, there isn't NBA or anything like that. And there will be the World Championships, but they're kind of on a lower tier as far as being on a big stage. So when it comes to wrestling, you know, if you want to be on the biggest stage of wrestling, it's the Olympic Games. So.
Now, you went 4-1 at the World Cup. You helped the U.S. grab a third-place finish. What's next for Brent Metcalf and the USA freestyle team?
Next is spending a lot of time in here, in this wrestling room, training, getting better. I lost to, you know, arguably one of the better guys in the world there, and you know, I've got to evaluate that, and I've got to find a way to beat that guy and guys of his caliber in the future. As far as my competition schedule, the U.S. Nationals is next, April 19th, 20th, 21st. That's in Las Vegas, so that's where I'll be competing next.
And do you consider this IOC decision a big distraction for you, or where's your focus?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't let it be. I feel that I can control what I can control, which is right now what I'm doing today and what I'm going to do tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. I think that we have a lot of support. I think there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are doing a lot of work to get this corrected. If anything's needed of me, I'm more than willing to help, do whatever it may be. But I don't think that I need to put all that much energy into it right now today, because I'm personally worried about the next thing, which is the U.S. Nationals. So I feel confident in the guys behind the scenes that are working hard at that. They're going to do it justice and do the best they can to get it reinstated.
Thanks for your time, Brent.
Yep.